Hello and welcome to another of my videos. Now this video is a explanation, introduction, call it what you want, about Rocket Cash Cycler. Easy for me to say. Now I'm going to make it really brief at the beginning because we've got lots and lots to go through. However, really important thing is that please make sure that you get in touch with the person who showed you this video, and if you've got any questions, great. They'll be more than happy to answer them. However, it's really critical that you get in touch with the person before you actually join Rocket Cash Cycler, because they will be able to place you on really advantageous boards. Don't just register straight away. Make sure you get in touch with your sponsor, your introducer, your referrer before doing anything. Alright? Okay, so I'm going to go through this in pretty quickly, but there are four really important messages. Now I will flag them up obviously as they appear, but there are four really key messages that I need to make sure that you understand. The beauty of video is that if you don't quite grasp one of the important messages, then do stop it, do rewind it, go through it again. Please watch the video 2-3 times if you're not quite getting it. If you're getting a sleepless night, then you've got it. That's what I mean. If the penny drops, you're fine. If the penny isn't dropping, then you still haven't got the message that I'm trying to get over on this video. So there's a clue for yourself. So here we are. Important message number one. Now people who watch my videos will understand that I don't do hype. I don't necessarily do excitability, if that's a word, but I am really excited about this opportunity, and it took a couple of views and a bit of explanation for me to actually understand the potential, but it is massive. And also I think I know that it's obviously a legal, solid and sustainable business, something that is very, very rare at the moment on the internet. So so without further ado, let's go into the important message number one, and this is it. Rocket Cash Cycler is a product focused company that uses a cycler as part of its commission or residual pay plan. You know, decide which method you understand. I'm not going to go through the products in any depth, simply because a simple Google search by yourself will be able to establish the authenticity of the products and how their value and their use to both you, your business, and obviously this business as well. So we have the X-Sky and Skyscraper tools. We've got a massive success library of downloadable ebooks and audio books, and they're yours to keep, and obviously the money, which gives you a fantastic lifestyle, and that is priceless. But just on those products here alone, you know, a compound value of $2,000 is a pretty good deal for the cost of your $300 or $315 entry points into Rocket Cash Cycler. So if you can't see the value just on that alone, then possibly I'll stop the video now and go and make yourself a cup of tea and do something else for the next 10 minutes of your life. Okay, well, if you're still with me, that's good. So Rocket Cash Cycler is the world's first 2x3 into 2x2 hybrid cycler. Sounds impressive, but what does it actually mean? Okay, you've got two matrices here. This is a 2x3 board, so you've got, it's too wide, who bring two people in, and it goes 3 levels deep, so that's 2x3. This is the entry point onto the matrix, and this is where you'd enter into Rocket Cash Cycler. You would basically work your way up the board till you got to the top, and then you would pop out and then join the second board, which is a 2x2 board, and funnily enough it's 2 wide by 2 deep, hence the reason. You'd start at the bottom again and then work your way up to the top. There are ways and means of jumping this, and that is just by getting busy. It's not by parting with any more cash. Okay, you need to understand that. It's one price only, and that's it, you're done. Okay, now Rocket Cash Cycler does use rockets as its symbols. I'm not going to go through these in any detail. You can, those of you who are interested, will be able to read it, but you will become, believe me, a very happy astronaut. Okay, so here we are. You've contacted your referrer, you've got involved, and this is you. You've entered the first matrix, which is a 2x3. You've entered the empty or spare rocket here, and you start at the bottom. You've paid your $300, and away you go. Now these two spaces here are not just for you to fill, they are for everybody within this organisation to fill. So you've got everybody working together to fill these two spots here. But let's say, for example, that you got busy, you brought in Anne, your best friend, and Sam, your other best friend. And so now this matrices has been completed. Now a completed board, there are two things that happen. Alright? The first thing is the person at the top receives $300 cash, and that goes straight into their bank. They just withdraw it, it's no problems at all. They also receive a $300 e-pin, which I'll explain in a little bit time. They also receive a $1,800 e-pin, and again I'll explain what that is in a minute. And as I've said to you before, because it's a hybrid, they move onto a 2x2 board. Okay, so that's the first thing that happens, and that's all happening to this rocket here, or this person at the top. The second thing that happens is that this board then splits into two, and we know that these rockets are all filled, but what it does is it creates 8 more rockets which are empty under these here, and then 8 more rockets which are empty which go under here. So you here and your two friends will have 8 rockets underneath here to fill. Now they won't be just for you, they will be for everybody in this yellow box to fill. Okay, and that's why this thing can move really, really fast. Okay, important message number 2. And that is, what the hell just happened? So let's just look at the maths of what happened. Okay, so this is the completed 2x3 matrix. Now we know that 8 rockets have been filled. We know that those rockets all paid $300. That creates $2,400 in total, and that goes straight up to the person at the top, the pay line. And then it's broken down into, as I've already said, $300 cash, $300 e-pin onto another 2x3 board, and $1,800 to go onto their first 2x2 board. So let's just do a few sums. 300 cash, 300 e-pin, 1,800 e-pin gives you $2,400, which is exactly that pot. So it's really important to understand that RCC, Rocket Cash Cycler, have received no money yet. Yes, they've received this money here into their account, but they've paid everything out to us, the affiliates, on the 2x3 board. So I know that you'll understand how to use the $300 cash. However, what do you do with the $300 e-pin? Well, guess what? It takes you straight onto another 2x3 board. Now, because this is a clone, or another you, or a virtual you if you like, it's you with the number 2 next to you. Okay? And then guess what? Your friends, as they cycle out, their clones will also join you. And so again, same process, everybody is working hard to fill these rockets, and so again this 2x3 will start to cycle independently of the work that you are starting to put into this matrix. Now I also mentioned the $1,800 e-pin, and that gets you onto a 2x2 board. Okay, well this is the 2x2 board. So you started here, as you can see, you come in at the bottom. Now Anne, she cycled out and she followed you, as did Sam, and then somebody called John, and all those spaces again are being filled not by you on your own, but by everybody that's in that matrix. Now it's important to understand on the 2x2 board something very special happens as the board is being filled, not when it's being completed. As the board is being filled, the first person who comes in to complete this empty rocket gets $1,000 from you. The next person who comes on pays the pay line again another $1,000, Sam $1,000, and then the last rocket pays $2,000. Now this isn't money that you are physically parting with, this is money that is your e-pin. Okay, so it's held by Rocket Cash Cycler. Rocket Cash Cycler make that payment for you. So again, once everything's been completed, two things happen. The rocket at the top, as we've just established, has just received $5,000 in staggered payments. Now that happens on the day that these rockets are filled. It doesn't happen all at once. So for example, it doesn't wait until all the rockets are filled, then you get the money. You get the money on the day that those rockets are filled. So Warrior Princess in this case has received $5,000, and they also receive a $1,800 e-pin. And again, the second thing that happens is that the remaining board splits again into two 2x2 boards, again allowing empty rocket spaces to come at the bottom of here and here, which allows these two rockets to cycle out again. So just to summarise, after each matrices completes, the person at the top gets paid out and moves on to the next matrix, and the board splits, which then creates extra spaces at the bottom for new people to come onto those matrices, allowing the people within the matrix to move their way through it in a very cyclical way, hence the term cycler. Okay, important message number 3. Yep, you guessed it, what the hell happened with the maths? Right, so we've got 4 rockets who paid $1,800 each on that line, which creates $4,200. And like I say, that goes up towards the pay line. The pay line, as we've already said, gets $5,000 cash. They also get a $1,800 e-pin and entry onto another 2x2 board. Quick maths, 5,000 plus 1,800 gives us 6,800, which is less than the 7,200. And why is that? It's because it is only at that point that Rocket Cash Cycler makes any money at all. So 95% of the money that's brought into Rocket Cash Cycler goes to us as affiliates. And your $1,800 e-pin allows you to send a clone, here you are, you number 3, into a new 2x2 board, and guess what? You'll notice that your direct contact clones are also following you through the program. So just a quick time for a bit of reflection on what has actually happened and what I've gone through. You've made a one-time payment of $315. You've got these products, they're yours to keep, and it's also got you onto the matrices. You've followed our simple 4-step system. You've turned your rocket red by sponsoring 2 people, and then with our support you then help your people turn their rockets red as well by sponsoring their 2 people. And that was it. There was no more money spent and there was no more sponsoring required. It's 2 people, help them to find 2 people and spend $315. So important. This is the critical big picture message, and this is the final message, message number 4. So please, if you've nodded off during the past 10 minutes, please pay attention now. So by now you understand that you come into the business and you go into a 2x3 matrix. At the end of that matrix you get an e-pin, you get $300 cash and another e-pin, $300 e-pin and a $1,800 e-pin. And hopefully you realise that then takes a 2x2, which cycles out, giving you $5,000 plus a $1,800 e-pin. You also know that the e-pin here for $300 cycles out, provides you with $300 cash. It gives you a $1,800 e-pin and another $300 e-pin. So that can go this way to infinity and that way to infinity. So you could have something that looks like this. You've got 2x2s giving you $5,000 cashes and $300 cashes in your 2x3s. Okay, let's see if you've been paying attention. How much would you expect to be able to bank then if you had 10, 20 or 30 2x2 clones? Yeah? Come on, think. How much would you have if you had 10, 20 or 30 2x2 clones? Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. You would have $50,000, $100,000 or $150,000 being banked when they's matured. And remember, that would keep going on and on and on, because you would still be getting e-pins each time one of your 2x2s or 2x3s cycled out. And notice you've still only made one payment of $315 and you've still effectively only sponsored 2 people who've helped 2 other people. Fantastic business. Please take a moment to look at this board and just understand the immense opportunity that you actually have here. This isn't a simple cycler, this is a really, really powerful cycler with a simple, super simple 4-step plan behind it. So get involved with the person who gave you this video, and let's get to work and let's help you make some money. Take care now. Bye bye.